Hey kids, comics. Superhero Bronze Age Babe here, yakking about our comic book collection, and today, Your Wish is My Command. Dad of Ducks asked if I had this issue of The Brave and Bold. It's number 93 and it's from January of 1971. And before I start, I just want to give Dad of Ducks a shout out for the most amusing handle on YouTube. How could you say no to Dad of Ducks? So anyway, this issue is, the reason he asked about it is because it's full of Neal Adams art, and I'm happy to talk about Neal Adams art any day of the week. So the cover is an Adams cover. You can tell by the swooping cape that Batman has. It also, Brave and the Bold was a team-up title, and so Batman teams up this time with House of Mystery, which is kind of unusual because House of Mystery has a host, but it has just an anthology of ghost stories. So it's like, well, that's intriguing. How are they going to do this? And that image of the door opening with those hands, that's a very House of Mystery iconic image. So it starts off fantastic, because who goes better with kind of the supernatural and ghosts than Batman in the canon? That's my opinion about the whole thing. And then you open it up and you are immediately treated to a wonderful splash page of Neal Adams art. And he starts you off with action, the guy who's like, uh-oh, and he's running and finding a haunted house. And this is Kane. This is the guy who hosts the anthology book House of Mystery. So Kane is going to kind of narrate this story, which is written by Denny O'Neil. Hey, how about that? And the story it's actually really good. And in fact, Red Water, Crimson Death. This gets reprinted a fair amount in Best of Batman anthologies, and for good reason. Basically, the story is that Batman, he trips. Oops. And he falls down, but luckily the bad guy is still caught. But anyway, Commissioner Gordon looming over all of this, and again, I love that depiction of, I always like how Adams dealt with Gordon. And he basically sends Batman on a month-long vacation because, and literally, he hands him tickets to a steamship that's going to Ireland or something, because, Batman obviously can't afford his own vacation, even though he's really, who's that? Oh yeah, Bruce Wayne. So on the steamship, he meets a young lad who falls overboard, and of course Bruce Wayne has to, dive in and save him. And the story takes us, the image here, again, rendered just wonderfully by Neal Adams, of that bearded face in the waves, plays an important part in this. So he saves the kid, and he and the kid end up back at the kid's home island, basically, wherein a mystery unfolds. And in true Denny O'Neil fashion, it turns out that although things seem supernatural, they mostly aren't. It's an evildoer who is actually more interested in getting people off that island so that he can develop it or pollute it or something. Again, the 1970s, Denny O'Neil in particular was really interested in the environment and ecology and the big bads of large corporations. So that sticks its head in here as well. But again, just look at the Adams art there. That's great. And I didn't even like fight scenes. And so Batman solves the gist of the mystery. There's the bad guy. And he's kind of poisoned Batman. And so look how that representation from Batman's point of view. It's like, oh dear, I've been drugged. And yes, indeed, he was drugged. And the evil guy's like, well, yep, you've been drugged. And you have a choice. You can save yourself. I've got the antidote right here. You can pick one of two bottles of antidote. One is, one isn't. It's up to you. Now, Batman he has been looking at this photo, or this painting, and because it's the guy in the wave earlier on, and he notices that the finger is pointing not at one of the supposed antidotes, but at that little vial. So Batman, being the smart dude he is, drinks that instead, and voila, that was the antidote. And how did you get it? And it's like, so there's an element of the supernatural that kind of, a couple things in it aren't explained, but with Batman, and particularly teaming up with the aesthetic of the House of Mystery, you kind of don't have to, because it's just cool all on its own. So there you go. It's a great issue, and if you have it in your collection, dig it out and give it a read. If you don't, go and find it, because it's just a wonderful Batman story. Well, thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time.